Well, the tide is finally turning, and Kamala's speech is slurring. Thank God we're saying bye to Joe. Screw the woke, screw the woke, screw the woke. And the mainstream media's dying, their viewers shaving their heads and crying. What is a woman? Well, they still don't know. Screw the woke, screw the woke, screw the woke.
How does the unapologetic reaction from one independent rapper leave the entire woke mob in total confusion? Tom MacDonald, he isn't here to play by the rules. He loves to rewrite them.
I honestly thought we'd never see the day, yet here we are. This is the first time in human history where there is undeniable proof that something made in China is actually better quality than the same product made in the USA.
He isn't here to play nice. His lyrics call out woke hypocrisy, just like his track Fake Woke, a song that stirred up so much buzz it racked up 41 million views on YouTube. His music speaks raw truths that his fans vibe with. But for the woke mob, let's just say they're not adding him to their playlist anytime soon.
Are you surprised by the backlash, or did you predict the backlash and that was one of the reasons you did the song in the first place?
Well, I've made a lot of sort of anti-woke anthems over the years, and there's always a certain degree of backlash that comes with it.
In his interview with Piers Morgan, Tom didn't mince words. He talked about the double standards in rap, pointing out how certain content gets free pass, except when it's his music. Remember the backlash over Facts, the track he dropped with Ben Shapiro? Yeah, that was his next level controversy.
Facts with Ben is sort of the cap on a long line of anti-woke anthems that have been met with pretty heavy criticism.
Tom keeps it 100. He calls out the industry's woke hypocrisy without breaking a sweat, showing how harmful and exploitative themes in mainstream hip-hop often slide under the radar. But when it's his turn, the criticisms come pouring in. Tom doesn't sugarcoat, and fans respect him for staying unapologetically true.
I think that sort of in general, over the last 10 to 15 years, there's been very prevalent themes in hip-hop, sort of objectifying women and glorifying violence and romanticizing drug abuse and stuff like that. And I think that hip hop likes to think of itself as quite a woke genre. And none of those things seem to quite align with what the woke mob is standing up and being vocal against. So I think it's a little bit hypocritical, but
Do you think you can be number one on the Billboard chart, or do you think you may get subtly shadow banned to stop you getting there?
Well, it's happened before. I've had Billboard refuse to count my album sales.
Tom spits the truth most people shy away from. And if you vibe with that, wait till we talk about Kid Rock, another artist who doesn't hold back when it comes to woke culture.
Why haven't you been canceled? Like, people aren't allowed to say what they think. You are.
I am uncancelable.
Why's that?
Because I don't give a And I'm not in bed with any big corporate things at the end of the day. There's nobody I'm beholden to, no record companies, no corporate interests, no nothing. And you can't cancel me. I love it when they try. I'm like, yeah, let's have some fun.
Why aren't there more artists like that?
Because they're in bed with record companies and, corporate deals and structures at every level. And, it's, and if someone finds a way to get me a little bit here and there, I'll find another way around it.
You never see artists talk like that. They seem very easy to intimidate. At what point did you realize, you're just not going to be intimidated?
Kid Rock has been clapping back at woke culture for years. When Bud Light went woke, he didn't just tweet about it. He was quick to point it out by buying cases so he can shoot them. Classic Kid Rock.
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today. Let me say something to all you and be as clear and concise as possible. Fuck Bud Light and fuck Anheuser-Busch. Have a terrific day.
So what's it like being the dude who took out Bud Light?
Let's get right to it.
Let's get right to it. We were going to bring a few cases in here for you. Switch sunglasses.
Fuck, I'll drink it. I don't give a shit. Two kinds of beer in this world, cold and free. I like them both.
We'll bring
Man,
some.
I was just having fun, to be honest with you. I mean, I
funny.
was pissed, like, you know, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like it was going to wreck my day, let alone my life.
Podcast all
Oh,
the
did I
time.
tell you these fucking smartasses? You know, my buddies now at Anheuser-Busch. For my
Cheers, sir.
Cheers, brother. For my birthday, they sent me a fucking 100 cases of Bud Light.
That's beautiful.
It's fucking hilarious. Truck rolled up to the fucking house. I'm like, who the what's? Because my friends have been bringing it over, shoving it in my golf bags. Like since I did the machine gun fucking, we'll call it machine gun gate. They've been fucking with me at everything I go to. Like someone's fucking Bud like this, Bud like that. And finally, I came to a point where I'm like, you know, where I did my research, and like I told you, like I don't give a fuck.
For him, it's not just about calling out woke companies, it's about the bigger picture, the consequences of blindly accepting these ideologies. When social media users cheer on woke brands, it only fuels the fire for more, further giving companies approvals to continue pushing woke agendas.
But the problem is those losers can actually affect businesses. And that's what they know. They know now that it's possible, both on the right and on the left.
But they need to know there's so many more businesses in this country deserving of that treatment.
Right.
Fucking Ben & Jerry's, Starbucks, Target. The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
And I don't care if they're left wing or right wing. It's just their fucking ideology.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when they cross that line and signal to people like myself and many others that they were okay with this transgender thing, and more so at like, is this going to get directed at my kids? So you
Right.
think fucking men should be in women's sports? Like, nah. That's where I'm drawing the fucking line. Get the fuck out of here.
He had a strong stance against cancel culture, and for Kid Rock, he doesn't care what the mob thinks about him. Kid Rock's been loud and clear. He would only succumb if only cancel culture has what it takes to shut him up.
Targeting our children, shit like that. Like, you know, there's a fine line there, but ultimately, I'm not fucking into cancel culture and fucking that shit. I mean, I fucking railed against it since day fucking one. And I'm like, we send them a message, we don't even fucking cancel them, all right? If they go down this path again and they start this, like, I think they figured out who if you're in business and you have a clear market, you might want to focus on that market.
Yeah, and don't disparage them openly, publicly, like they did.
Yeah, I don't think if there's, you like,
Kid Rock is not just a rapper, he's also a rock star, and despite how big he is, the platform he does have, the woke mob, have been unable to do nothing about him. He doesn't hold back. He's found himself in the midst of issues and controversies throughout his career, but no matter how hard folks try to cancel him, Kid Rock stays uncanceled.
Craziest. Man.
There are lots to choose from, obviously.
Yeah, not really media, but I mean, none of them drive me crazy. I just laugh it off, you know, like I don't let people get in my skin like that. I could, in case you haven't noticed, I could give a frog's fat ass. Like, nobody's getting under my skin like that.
How much time do you spend watching The View?
And when it comes to rappers who clash with woke culture, Kanye West is impossible to ignore.
And we survived. We survived through the cancellation. We're back #1.
Do you think the controversy helped you?
It wasn't about the controversy. It was about the ability to say how you felt out loud.
Ye is sometimes known for teaching paparazzi some manners, has been one of the most vocal voices against extreme liberalism and industry hypocrisy and cancel culture.
There's professors that are actually intelligent, actually have multiple degrees that have been canceled from their schools. And they don't have a music industry or a fan base or shoe design or a smoking hot ex-wife to complain about. They've just got the truth of what they saw and what they dedicated to this country and to education that has been muted by schools that have been taken over with an agenda.
In almost every interview, Ye drops heavy truths, and for him, an angry and hateful person can be both factually and morally correct in their position, and not only do anger and hate deserve to be heard, they need to be heard.
So even if that voice is about anger and hate, it still deserves to be heard.
Yeah, it deserves to be heard, and we deserve to ask why.
He just doesn't have the time for mind games, and he's not about to let anyone control him with societal concepts.
Liberal will try to control a black person through the concept of racism because they know that we are very proud, emotional people. So when I said I like Trump to like someone that's liberal, they'll say, oh, but he's racist. You think racism can control me?
Oh, that don't stop me. That's an invisible wall.
From his thoughts on religion in Hollywood to his controversial comments about anti-Semitism, Kanye knows how to get the woke mob riled up. And for years, he's proven he's untouchable when it comes to cancel culture.
So the answer to why I wrote White Lives Matter on a shirt is because they do. It's the obvious thing.
Yeah.
Remember his conversation with Tucker Carlson? Kanye went all in about indoctrination in America and how Hollywood pressured him to stay quiet about his political views.
It drove me crazy to not be able to say that I like Trump. It drove, because think about it, it's me. Imagine me not being able to say what I wanted. What was the point of being famous? What was the point of having, millions of people love your music? What was the point of having a voice if you can't even use your own voice and connect it to your own opinions?
Yes.
That's where the disconnect happened. That's where the, quote, I think wrongly diagnosed, that's where the bipolarity is. Because you got something you're thinking, but you're told you're not allowed to say it in public. Well, I never actually told people that I liked Trump when he was running because I was bullied by Hollywood. Because I stayed in Hollywood and people were like, think about your kids, and I'm trying to hold on to the marriage, so I'm just biting my tongue.
Critics may call Ye narcissistic, but his dialogues are so sharp and his reasoning so on point that he always manages to express himself in ways that keep him from being canceled. And while our next rapper isn't narcissistic, he shares the same opinions with Kanye on the woke industry.
Yeah, he was a cop, and my life was saved by a white man. I don't know what racism is.
That was Lil Wayne 8 years ago. He's the type to say exactly what he thinks in mind, just like in an interview where he completely shut down a woke reporter after asking about his view on Black Lives Matter.
You still feel the same way. What's your thought on Black Lives Matter?
What is it? What do you mean?
The idea is that there's this movement called Black Lives Matter, thinking that the rest of America didn't seem to understand that Black Lives Matter.
It just sounds weird. I didn't know that you put a name on it. It's not a name, it's not whatever. It's somebody got shot by police for up reason. I am a young, black, rich. If that don't let you know that America understands Black matter these days, I don't know what it is. Don't come at me with that dumb man. My life matter, especially to my.
Do you separate yourself from it?
I don't feel connected to a damn thing that ain't got nothing to do with me. If you do, you crazy. You connected to this flag right. As I'm connected, I'm a gangbanger, man. I'm connected.
Wayne was quick to destroy our woke reporter, and he doesn't waste time with woke discussions. He worked out of the interview after that exchange. Weezy is unapologetic and knows when to call it quits. For him, woke ideologies doesn't matter. What matters most is his kids.
My whole path, these 33 years have been nothing but a blessing. I have never, never is a strong word, I've never dealt with racism, and I'm glad I didn't have to. And I don't know if it's because of my blessings, I don't know if it's, but it is my reality. So I would have to say, not only did I thought it was over, I still believe it's over, but obviously it isn't.
So you've never experienced any offensive behavior from any other color or?
No, sir.
Wow.
Obviously, we have a bunch of differences. People feeling this way, people feeling that way. When you come to a person like me, my answer is always the same, man. My politics, my flag, my country, my nation, my world, all that is Reginae, Cameron, Neil, and his brother, Tony. That's it. That's my nation, that's my flag, that's my world, that's my protest, that's my don't protest, that's my everything. That's all that matters, those 4 kids to me.
Next up is Eminem, and even though he's intentionally kept a low profile online recently, it doesn't deny the fact that Slim Shady is far from conforming to political norms. Take the death of Slim Shady in his 2024 album.
No, Eminem is back, man. The old Eminem, Houdini.
Well, for the first time, remember, we was all young, so everybody was different mind state. We didn't have kids. We didn't have responsibility. So, you know, it was a lot of shit that we did back then that we probably don't do now. So it's a difference between, you know, seeing somebody back then for the first time and then hearing somebody again go back to that. The spirit that he had, you know, that young white boy that just didn't give a fuck, that hung out with some niggas but spoke his truth. That shit was different. It was real. It was raw, it was authentic, and that's the shit that attracted Dre and, you know, the whole team to fuck with him, and it created a whole atmosphere to what years later he could still do it. Houdini, you know, what did Houdini do? The nigga disappear and come back. Ain't that what he do? He's a magician. Nigga, you didn't even know that. Who you thought Houdini was, a nigga that made airplanes? Abracadabra, abracadabra. I'm gonna reach out and grab it. That shit bad. Shout out to Slim Shady. Welcome back to the block, dog. Bring some more of that real hip hop back. You know what I'm talking about? Detroit. Hey, Mom Spaghetti got some bomb ass food too, cuz I can't even front. Send me some of that garlic bread.
Radio host and actor Big Boi had nothing but praise for the album, keeping it real about cancel culture and artistic freedom.
And there's a lot of words that in 2024 that you just can't use that you could use back in 2002, things like that. So when I heard Eminem, even to the point where I was like, ooh, I know I can't play that on air. You know what I'm saying? I know that it is touchy, and even to the point where you can say, damn, that's wrong. But you gotta let an artist be an artist. You got to let them go ahead and be artistic and let them show their art skill. And when it comes to Eminem, you can get a guilty conscience where you hear the R word, you hear fat shaming. I felt like it was cleverly written. You know, Eminem, of course, I say he's been sober since 2008. So just tapping back into what it sounded like, you know, when M was right when he was on drugs, because he said from his first album, he was already writing on drugs. But to tap into what's going on today and do what's going on today and not worried about being judged by today's standards.
People have always tried to cancel Eminem, even before cancel culture became a thing. M has always gone against the grain. He would always say what he wants, irrespective of who he's offended. Like that time he had the vice president's wife in the Senate debate about canceling him.
Years ago.
He is a violent misogynist. He advocates raping and murdering his mother in one of his songs. He glories in the same song in the idea that he might murder any woman he comes across.
Or the time he had the Gay and Lesbian Alliance against defamation.
Ho ho, Eminem has got to go, hey hey, ho ho, Eminem has got to go, hey hey, ho ho, Eminem has got to go, hey hey, ho ho, Eminem has got to go, hey hey, ho ho.
They tried to get the organizers of the award to not allow Eminem at the show, but he not only won awards on this night, he even performed. Slim Shady's that guy who really doesn't give a fuck.
How many people here tonight are sick of motherfuckers talking shit about me?
Eminem's fan base is solid, so he doesn't stress about societal expectations, and he says absolutely anything he wants in a song, while not being worried about conforming to societal requirements.
Hey, Steve, what up, man? Just checking in. How we looking?
Oh, how nice to hear from you. Aren't you supposed to be dead?
I mean, it's just an album, man. It's not like...
I don't fucking care. I told you not to rap about homosexuals and Vicodins, and you shot me. Now you're rapping about little people and quadriplegics. How the hell am I supposed to sell this shit?
Man, here we go again, huh?
Let me get to the point. How the fuck are you gonna put out another album without me on it?
Alright, man. Whatever, I'll fix it.
Not only does Eminem reject political conformity, his loose-leaf writing style and lyrical genius have cemented him as a hip-hop icon. And listening to him is like looking at art and an insight to how his mind works from paper to the booth.